Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny and we live and garden here in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Today I had an opportunity to stop by one of my local independent nurseries, and that is Homestead Gardens in Severna Park, Maryland. I also stopped by the Dollar Tree, so I thought I would share with you some of the things that I brought home. Unfortunately, I had to go to a funeral this morning, and I also had to go to a funeral on a few days ago. So there's been some really down moments in life lately. So I treated myself to the garden center so that I could perk up a little bit. And I did find some lovely things there. Let me share with you. I'll start with the things that I got at the Dollar Tree because they're kind of easy to get through in a jiffy. Some of the things are for gardening, but most of them are not. Let me show. Okay, first thing is a stack of 10 wire trash bags. These are, they're about a foot tall, maybe 8 or 10 inches in diameter at the top, and let's say 6 inches in diameter at the bottom. And the way I use these for gardening is I use them as a wire cloche to cover seedlings of things that I want to keep animals from eating. So I got 10 of those. I picked up 6 of the smaller baskets. These are the same material as the trash baskets, but these are sold as just metal baskets. So they're sold in the office supply section where they have all of their organization planners, file folders, and things for desktop organization. So I got 6 of these, and I'm going to use them for the same thing, and that is protecting crops from rabbits, squirrels, and deer. And then finally, I got, I believe, 8 of these bell cloche for protecting warm season vegetables if you get a cold night or something like that. Not every Dollar Tree carries all of these things, especially those plastic bell cloche. So you may have to shop around to different Dollar Tree locations, or I think you can order Dollar Tree items online as well at dollartree.com, and I think you have to have them delivered to the store, but that might be an option if you're really wanting some of these items. Before I share with you what I got on my shopping trip, I thought I would share the footage that I took when I was shopping and show you all the beautiful things that I found. Please enjoy this walk through Homestead Gardens. I didn't even make it all the way inside before I got stopped looking at plants. They had these beautiful hollies out front and some other plants that I am considering for our front yard landscaping. So these were beautiful, but the price tags were maybe a little higher than I care to pay for. But, you know, good quality things don't come cheap. But these sure were beautiful. The Sarcococca really is capturing my attention. I'm gonna do some more research into these and see if they will thrive in my zone. So as they get down to -20 Celsius, I need to do the conversion and see how cold that is. Moving inside, this is a beautiful store. They have just lovely displays of so many pretty things. Lots of things caught my attention. I do like this ivory toned paint. Cute t-shirts. And I've been looking for a head planter, and these are certainly full of personality, aren't they? But I didn't find one that suits exactly what I want yet. So many nice things to look at, though. These birds are sweet, and so are the bunnies. This store just really has a lot of pretty things. I love these moss and twig bird feeders that are also planters. You can put annuals around the rim of them, which is an interesting idea. They had a lot of them to choose from. Check that out, gorgeous. And these were sweet butterfly prints too. I really like this shelf, but I don't think I have a place for it. Couldn't resist the seed racks. And then of course out in the greenhouse, houseplants are just beautiful right now. So many to choose from. And this is the smaller location. There's another location in Davidsonville, Maryland that is much, much, much larger with so many more options, but there were plenty of options here. Some spring color on this display. Smelled really good too. All of these plants had pretty fragrances. Is there anything cheerier than a daffodil on a sad day? This was exactly what I needed on this day. I spent my time shopping around and I did find some things. Let me share with you what I got. I picked up 2 of these frosty ferns. I have bought these before and killed them. They don't stay wet enough for their liking in my care, so I'm gonna do it again, and I'm going. Hey guys, it's Editing Jenny. I just discovered that the footage from this video accidentally got placed into slow motion for like almost all of the video. So I'm going to do what I can to salvage the video and do a voiceover to try to remember what I was saying and get you the information, even though I totally messed it up. So fingers crossed that I can salvage the video and get the information out to you. So here we go. I believe I was saying that I have had bad luck with these frosty ferns in the past because I don't keep them moist enough, and that's my fault, not their fault. So I'm going to try once more. I am planning to have 2 of these frosty ferns in one container. I'm going to make sure I'm keeping them moist enough. They need to stay constantly moist, no drying out. They will tell you immediately if they are too dry. So I'm going to just give it a shot because they're just so beautiful and I really love them. I'm pretty sure that's what I was saying. I also picked up 2 of these ivies and I got them because I loved the colors of them. I just love the colors. This is called Ivy Colibri, and I was really drawn to the colors. The mature leaves are a soft dark green with a sagey light color, and the new leaves are a brighter green with a little bit of a chartreuse color, and I think that this is just gorgeous. So I bought 2 of those, and then I bought this lovely planter as well. I just really liked the basket weave arrangement on the side. So I'm thinking that maybe these frosty ferns are going to go into that container. Or maybe I'll put the ivy into the containers. Got some Blue Lake bush beans. They're 58-day beans, and they're an heirloom seed. 16 to 18 inches tall. They're bushy plants. They don't need to be staked, so that's nice. So I'm looking forward to having these Blue Lake bush beans. I got this basil, this cardinal basil. I don't intend to eat this. This is more for an ornamental because it gets those fiery red floret almost, or leaves at the top of the plant. I think those will be really pretty as an ornamental. I picked up Space Master 80 cucumber. This is a 62 days cucumber. It's compact and bushy, so maybe I don't need to trellis it. It does grow 2 to 3 feet on vines, but I might be able to keep those lower. This says that it makes full-size cucumbers and small ones for pickling if you want to do that, and it is disease resistant to several things. And then finally, Old Rush bush beans, and these are going to be yellow. They are 54 days long, and this doesn't say how tall they get. Yeah, so I don't know about that. I think the rest of my footage is not in slow motion. Okay, I had to change my clothes. You can't garden in a funeral dress, right? So I need to write down the information about these seeds in my spreadsheet before I put them into the filing system that I have over there. So I'm just going to set these aside and deal with them later. Okay. These 2 ivies are going to go in the same pot with each other to a nice one big clumping plant. And then these 2 frosty ferns are going to go into one pot together to make one nice big plant. Eventually, if they thrive and grow, I'll be able to separate them, divide them, and have 2 plants later. But for now, I'm going to just treat them as one nice big gorgeous plant. This is the pot that the frosty ferns are going to go into. They'll look somewhat like that right away. So that's for those. Need to pick a pot for the ivy. Maybe this one, although this doesn't have any drainage holes. Maybe this one. That would look nice and full right away. So maybe this one. I do have one more choice to consider though. Well, I have lots more than one choice to consider, but I have one in mind, which is gorgeous. It's a little big for the purpose, but I love this pot. Love the braiding around it. This is from Berg's Pottery. My husband gave this to me as a gift. He picked it up at the Longwood Gardens gift shop one time. So I could put these in there, and it wouldn't be quite full yet. I would really want more than that in this pot. Although it'll fill in, and I could, you know what, I am going to put it in here, because then I can put in, eventually I could put in a topiary form, and maybe just a simple circle, coat wire circle, and let the ivy grow up around that. So yeah, that's going to be my plan. So I'll use this. It does have drainage in it, and it does have a saucer, so I'm good to go there. The soil I'm going to use is actually the same soil that I'm using for all of my seed starting. It's just a mix of coconut coir and perlite, and I have it down here in this big bin. It holds moisture very well, but it also is light and fluffy. So nice healthy roots. I want the top of this soil to be about 1 inch below the edge of the pot. That looks pretty good, so I'll make room for the other root ball over here. Oops, lost some of that soil. Okay, so these are both at the same level in the container, and now I need to backfill. I'm going to firm it down in there so that any air pockets are eliminated. There we go. So that's tucked in very firmly. The potting soil is about 3/4 of an inch, maybe in some spots, and a full inch in other spots, below the edge of the rim. So I think that looks really nice. I'm going to set that aside for a minute. I'll come back to it. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Now again, this doesn't have any drainage holes in it, but that's okay because these frosty ferns, they like to stay really moist. So the fact that there's no drainage, I think, is going to be okay. I just have to keep it from rotting in the soil. Now, normally I wouldn't choose a container where the sides come up and close in, because then pulling the soil out later will be difficult, but I just thought it was so pretty, I couldn't pass it by. I may come to regret that later when it's time to repot these plants, but for now, it is just so pretty. I'm just using my fingers to feel down inside the sides of the pot to make sure there are no air pockets down there without soil. Taking care not to break any of the stems of the plant. Already, that is just such a pretty little vignette there. The shape, the round shape, and then the little green top. I think that's really, really sweet. Now I'm just going to clean up the containers a little bit, make them look a little prettier. The soil that I'm using for these has no nutrition in it. It's just coconut coir with perlite. There's no nutrients at all. So I do need to fertilize these to give them something to live on. So I'm going to use this organic Neptune's Harvest fish and seaweed fertilizer. This is a 231 NPK fertilizer. And for houseplants, it says to use 1 tablespoon per gallon of water, feed every week. Water lightly so that the diluted fertilizer does not remain in the drip dish because it's kind of stinky. So I'm going to shake it up real good. I have a gallon of water right here in this pitcher container. Is that a gallon or a half a gallon? That's a half a gallon, so I only need a half a tablespoon, which is roughly, what, 1.5 teaspoons? Look, half a tablespoon. How convenient. All right, so one of these in here because it's a half a gallon. Ooh, doesn't smell all that good. Okay, so this fertilizer does not smell all that great, but it's going to be wonderful for these plants. I'm going to transfer it to a slightly smaller pouring cup just to make it easier. This one is a little unwieldy to pour out of. Now on this one, I can soak it thoroughly and let it drip out because it has a drainage hole. I want to just put a little bit more in there. I want to make sure that the whole plant, all of the soil in there, gets nice and saturated. Now this pot is a beautiful ceramic planter, and we will be able to see it as it gets wet, as the soil goes down over time. I don't know how long it takes for that to show. That one is good. And now this one, I'm going to water a little more sparingly. I don't want to oversaturate it, but I do want to make sure I do saturate it thoroughly, just not over thoroughly. So I don't really know how to tell you how I'm doing it. I'm just using my best judgment. I can see air bubbles gurgling up. That's good. I do have quite a bit in there. I'm going to wait just a minute and see if when I press on it in a minute or two, if it still is showing so soggy. If so, then I will actually turn it upside down and let some of this water drain out. But I have a feeling it's still percolating down because I can hear it. Now, I said that I was thinking about using this as a topiary plant, and I think I could still do that. Put in a circle wire that has a wire just going down the center, and then train these tendrils up around the circle. But also, right now I don't happen to have a wire circle form handy. I could make one fairly easy with a coat hanger, but I don't have one on me right now. But I do have these beautiful twigs and sticks from my Harry Lauder's walking stick plant. And I have saved these. Every time I prune that plant, I save every bit of stick and twig that I get off of it because I love the shape of it. These have been spray painted white. Naturally, they're just brown. But I'm wondering if I could use some of these. This one looks a little bit maybe too wide. But maybe this, if I put this in the center here, would that be interesting or would that be just weird? And then what if I would have to stick it down into the soil a little bit. So it would be like at this level in the center. And then what if I were to train this up like that? Then it could be like an interesting, different kind of topiary form. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if I can poke a hole between these two root balls that this, poke my eye out, that this stem can go down into. Like that. And then this could be trained up and around like this. How's that for a crazy idea? I think it adds a little bit of interest, don't you? A little bit of whimsy, a little bit of nature. I'm going to say yes for now. I can always take it out. I haven't done anything permanent here, so I'm going to live with this for a while and see if I like it. Okay, and then this one, I don't think it needs anything extra. I'm going to just check its water, make sure all that water drained down inside. Yes, it did. It's not looking like a soaked up sponge now. So, yeah. So these frosty ferns in this container are complete. I'm not going to do any more ornamentation to this. So now it's just a matter of putting these into place upstairs. This radiator shelf here in the dining room, I think it's going to be a beautiful place for this. The lighting is a little hard to see in the camera, but because of the contrast with the light behind it. But I think that the ivy color, the bright green, the variegation, the rusticness of the pot, the twigs, I think it's all a very nice little addition to the dining room right there. And I think this is going to be a nice spot for this. It may need more light than it's going to get right here. If that's the case, then I will move it into a sunnier location. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a rough couple of days here in our world because of the losses that our friends have suffered. Getting my hands into the soil and nurturing life feels like exactly the right thing to do today. So thanks for joining me. How are you doing with your houseplants? Have you done any house planting lately? I'd love to hear from you if you have been able to find some new plants, or maybe caring for your old plants, overwintering plants that you're going to put back outside here in just a few weeks. Let me know what you're up to in the comment section down below. And thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again in another video real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.